to the World Satsanga on the 28th of September 2013. So, we've got Atso, Chris, Matias, Alan, Lucy, Verona and Kathleen and Fiona. I'm going to apologise to those people who can't be pulled in today because the system has thrown a few wobblies, as we say in the UK. So I'm going to carry on anyway. The agenda today was really to talk about what a soulmate is, and I'm going to go through the human context first. And basically, this is going to be me reading off what I put in a blog a few days ago on the website about what the human aspect of a soulmate is. So soulmate is one of those individuals that we pretty much know instantly. It's somebody we relate to when we first meet them. We have an affinity with them straight away. It's one of these people who are in tune with us on a very intimate level, almost from the very start of us.
Guys.
So we're going to talk about the aspect of what a soulmate is. So a soulmate is somebody who is really part of what we are and is there all of the time in terms of our energies. They're part of what we are. But from a human perspective, we think of them as being, the person that we fall in love with straight away, and they're the individual who we have an affinity with straight away. And I've just said, we have this intimate understanding and be able to express ourselves with them almost from day one we see them. So really, a soulmate can be known almost within days of our first contact. Should we be observant enough as to who they are? But how many of us are really that observant when we start to see who that's, a soulmate that's around us? Many soulmates are only generally identified after many years of working in partnership. So when we meet a soulmate, although we should be able to identify them instantaneously, really most individuals only recognise the fact that they've got a soulmate there, or they're associated with a soulmate, working with a soulmate, or even married with a soulmate after many years of being married, which is a shame. So it's one person who we stay in love with, who we still want to be with and hold their hand after about 25 or 50 years of marriage. They're tolerant of our wrongdoings and they offer help to correct them. So they understand that we are what we are, and they will work with us, and we will work with them as well, because it's a two-way thing when we have a soulmate. So they really accept us for what we are and offer gentle advice for improvements. They are the sort of individual who tells you when they're upset without fear of retribution, because they don't fear any comments from us. They'll work with us hand in hand in the most difficult of situations that we have, and they won't leave you when the going gets tough. I mean, one of the problems we do have sometimes is that when we get into situations where we have bad health or we have financial problems, sometimes somebody who's not really a soulmate or is only with you for the good times will leave. And that's a real shame, because these individuals who are our soulmates won't do that. They will stay with you. They are with you for better or worse, using the marriage vow terminology there. So they will be with you all the time, and they would rather be poor. Hang on, I've got something else trying to pull in there. Yeah, they would rather be poor than be rich, as it were. They haven't got a problem with our financial situation. Now then, they also will be quite happy to praise us when we succeed, but also console us when we fail, because they will have full understanding. So it's one of these things where we've got to really work with them and understand that we can interface with them in all sorts of different ways. Okay. The other side of being a soulmate is they're strong for you, they're there for you in your darkest times. They're satisfied with you and what you are, and they will help to stretch you in every way, shape or form. But also, more importantly, they'll catch you in your fall. So when you have problems and it's difficult to recover, they will be there to help pick you up when you have problems. They will also give you your independence when you want it. You know, a soulmate is somebody who's not afraid of you going out and doing your own thing sometimes. It's one of these things where they totally trust you. There's no problem with where you are, what you're doing and how you're doing it. They totally trust you, and they will stay with you irrespective of what happens. The thing with the trust bit is, this is the most important thing. Irrespective of what you are, where you're going. I mean, some people get very jealous of people being in the company of other men or other women, for instance. But a soulmate will have total confidence in you, and you'll have total confidence in them. And so therefore, there's no problem with who we work with and how we work with them. They also help realise your full potential. They can see within you what you're good at and what you're capable of doing, and they will do everything they can to help realise your full potential. And they're the sort of individual you give your life up for. You know, they are extremely reliable. You can share anything with them, and you know, really, they're an absolute gift from God. They are a wonderful opportunity for existence. And they are a wonderful, relationship to have as a soulmate. It's only a few things to think about from the human aspect of a soulmate, but it's very important that we do recognise that when we do have a soulmate, we've got a gift from God. Basically, a soulmate is really the sort of individual that we would like to have when we're married. But really, they're extremely rare, and I'm going to explain now a little bit about what I mean by the rarity of a soulmate, because the soulmate is an energetic phenomena. It is to do with who and what we are energetically and how we relate to who and what we are energetically. So if I rewind a little bit now, we've talked a little bit about the human desire of a soulmate and what a soulmate would be able to do. But when we look at the aspect of the energetic side of this, a soulmate is really part of our soul group. Now, I need to explain a little bit about what a soul group is, because it's important to understand that the soul group is really part of what we really are. Our true energetic self, the Godhead, the Oversoul, the higher self, whichever way you want to call it, is what we truly are. As an incarnate entity, we are an aspect of that true energetic self. The true energetic self, or the higher self, projects a smaller aspect of itself into a physical body, and that allows it to experience lower frequency existence whilst still in the energetic. So if we think about the true energetic self as, or the Godhead, or the higher self, or the Oversoul, as being like the head of an octopus, but this octopus can have up to 12 legs, and rather than 8, as it were. But these 12 legs are the projections, the maximum number of projections that can be put into separate bodies, separate vehicles to experience the lower frequencies within our source entity's multiverse. Then each of those can create a separate independent entity. Just as our true selves is an individualized unit of God, is an individualized unit of the source entity. So when our true self projects an aspect of itself into a physical form to animate it, what we call the soul, then it's got a level of individuality. It's got a level of separateness as well. So it is as well separately together. So it's got a level of independence there, just as our true self has from the source entity. Okay. So let's have a look at this. When we meet a soulmate, that soulmate is really the soulmate is really one of those other aspects. So if we are lucky enough to meet one of those other aspects whilst incarnate, if we're lucky enough to see our true soulmate, one of those aspects that have been projected down from our true entity self, then we really are lucky. It's so rare to find another part of what we truly are incarnate at the same time, in the same time frame. But if we have the opportunity to work with them, and more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to work with another aspect of ourselves. And if of course they are the opposite sex, we can work with them, and if we're lucky enough to marry them, then we've got a true soulmate there. We've got the absolute opportunity to work together, whilst also being separate as well, whilst also being as part of our true energetic self. So it's difficult to recognise how rare a soulmate is, because people always say, "I want a soulmate," but there's only a maximum of 12 aspects that can be incarnated at any one time. That is, of course, if an aspect is projected into lower frequencies. If an aspect is projected into a higher frequency, so let's say, for instance, it's in one of the higher frequencies of the universe, and therefore that would be considered to be energetic from our perspective, but it's still an incarnate condition. Let's say around the 9th frequency within the physical universe. That entity can create a sub-incarnation. So it could leave that body behind and then come down and incarnate in this lower level to experience a lower level condition. So you could meet a soulmate that way as well. But also, if this higher frequency incarnation decides to split some part of itself off to create a shard, as I've been told to call it, where it can project a portion of itself down into another physical form of a lower frequency, whilst still maintaining another incarnation, then there's a possibility that we could have more than that 12 in the lower frequencies. An aspect, provided they're all incarnated in higher frequencies, can potentially separate out up to 12 shards. So there could be 144 different opportunities for incarnation. And so therefore that's the only way in which we might spot another one of our soulmates in that instance. It's a very difficult thing to say, but I would suggest that, from my understanding and the information I've been given, that most soulmates are aspects that we meet. There's not many. In fact, I'm just being told there's very few shards would be able to have the level of energetic density, as it were, to be able to be called a soulmate, because they're not dense enough in terms of their energies when they're incarnating to be able to have the functionality required to link into this recognition of somebody or something that is of the same type of energy. This sounds a little bit hard work, but in essence, the only time we're going to see a soulmate is if we are of the same higher self. And so when we see a lot of these different aspects all projected down together and incarnate, all those aspects together, if there's say 8 aspects, they would be called a soul group, because they're a group of souls that are part of the same Godhead, part of the same higher self, oversoul, or true energetic self. Now I know the sound's been absolutely, the transmission quality's been poor tonight, but does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So, I think the thing to do is to look at it from a different perspective. So a soulmate is really a part of us, and that's to simplify it in some level of response. When our true energetic self splits off parts of itself to become incarnate, a soulmate is another one of those that we've managed to link in with and see. So a soulmate is part of our soul group. Our soul group is the individualized units of our true selves, our higher self, or our oversoul, if you want to call it that. And as a result of all of this, the only way we're going to meet a soulmate is by meeting part of ourself in reality. Okay. Alan, do you have any questions on this? I think you've got the best the best connection for what I can see. No. Okay. Matchas, do you have any questions at all? No. John? No. Alison, do you have any questions on the soulmate? No. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now. So I think what we should do now is continue with meditation. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is continue with the meditation. And the meditation was to do with really working in metaconcert to work together. And it allows us to work together in synergy to allow us to effect a more, shall I say, effective method of whatever we want to do. In this instance, I wanted to effect some healing on somebody. So I think what we're going to do is I haven't received any information on as to who we should work with right now, so I'm going to just make a list, make a standpoint that we send healing out to everybody who needs it. So let's think about what we're doing with the meditation. I want you all to sit comfortably and back straight, and with the closed eyes focused on the area in between the 2 eyebrows and above the bridge of the nose. And so I want you to imagine that you're walking through a corridor and going to a room that's a white room with a group of chairs in the centre. Okay. So I want you to sit down, and if you look at the chairs, you'll see there's these group of chairs there. There's basically 3 chairs. There's one in the centre, which is where I'm going to sit, and then you can sit either side of me. And I'd like you to take either my right hand with your left hand, or my left hand with your right hand. Now, it doesn't matter which chair you sit in, because these chairs will multiply as a result of the number of people who are there. If you all sit down in your chair and take one of my hands, and what we're going to do is just link up. So those who are here, just imagine the chairs separating out, and all of a sudden we start to get a group of chairs that are rotating around from me. So we have me with my right hand with somebody's left hand, and my left hand with somebody's right hand, and then the chairs separate out. So we're all linked together, and we have a circle of chairs which will have Alan and Lucy and Verona and Kathleen and Chris and Natchas and Alisan, all together. And what we're going to do now is just consider ourselves as separate units but linked together. And now I want you to imagine that I am moving from the outer perimeter of this circle, and I'm going to put myself in the centre of the circle now, and the people who are holding my right hand with their left hand, or their left hand with their right hand, will join together. It doesn't matter who is there, it doesn't matter who you're in contact with, just recognise that you're joining your hands together, and we're all working together. Okay. And so now I want you to imagine that you're all sending out a little silver bead of light from your heart chakra to my heart chakra. So we start to create a circle with me in the middle, and each of these little beams of light from the heart chakras to my heart chakra form the spokes of a wheel. So you're all linked into me in the centre. So we're all linked together in the centre. And so you're all linked to my heart chakra through the connection between your heart chakra. And so you are one with me, and I am one with you. Now what I want you to do is to imagine yourselves all moving into the centre point, all linking together with me in the centre. So I'm in the centre, and you were on the outside, but now you're moving in along this line in towards me in the centre. And so you are me and I am you. So I am Alan and Lucy and Verona and Kathleen and Natchas and Chris and Alisan. We're all one together. Now as we're all one together, we become a multiple of the number of who's there. So it's 7 times 7. There are 7 people right now. There are 7 people, not including those who are going to be listening into this recording. And there are 7 people right now. So 7 times 7. Okay. Is going to give us 49. So we're equivalent of 49 people, all linked together in synergy. All linked together with a common goal of sending healing out to all those in the world that need it. So what we're going to do now is just imagine that our little self, which was all linked together inside me, now it has the ability to expand. And we expand an energy field around us, a loving, caring, healing energy field that's around us, and it spreads out from our collective synergetic connectivity, where we're all linked in via the heart chakras to me, and we're all occupying the same space as me in the centre of this meditative circle within the room. And there's this energy, this healing, caring, healing energy spreads out and moves beyond the room. It moves beyond the area that the room's in. It moves beyond the suburb that the room's in. It moves beyond the city the room's in. It moves beyond the country that the room's in. It then moves beyond the land mass that the country's in, and it then moves beyond the seas and totally engulfs the earth. Our loving, caring, healing energy now is engulfing the earth. All of those individuals who need healing, who need help, who need to be healed in any way, shape or form, whether it's physical healing, whether it's energetic healing, whether it's mental healing, they're all getting healing from our energetic self. Everything we are doing now is sending out healing to everybody in the whole world. Everything we are doing is sending out healing to the whole world. Everything is being healed. All of the healing we're sending out is coming from the source entity. Everything that we are doing is coming from the source entity. We are healing absolutely everybody. Everybody who needs healing. All those individuals who are being healed because they're part of the earth, part of the source, part of where we are. And so our little healing group, 7 people working together, have created a healing condition that is affecting the whole world, and all those individuals who need healing, whether it's energetic, mental or physical, are being healed. They're all receiving healing energy from the source. And now we've done our work, and we've set up this link from the source with our intention to heal. Our little group is intended to heal and has sent out healing energy. That will stay there now. All those individuals who need healing will continue to remain healed, will stay healed, will receive healing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That healing energy will be there for them all the time. And so we can move away from this now and start to contract ourselves back into our location in the room. So let's move ourselves out. We'll leave the healing energy there. We'll leave the healing energy surrounding the earth. And so we now move ourselves back towards the room. We move our attention back from the earth moving back towards the landmass. So moving back towards the landmass, moving back towards the country, we're moving back towards the city, moving back towards the suburb, moving back towards the area, the location of our room, moving back in towards our room. And so we're now back in our room, where all of our attention is to be in the same location as me. All of our attention is to be in exactly the same space as me, in the centre of this wheel of us all, this wheel of 7 individuals working in meta-concert together. We've sent out healing energy from the source, and it is still in place, it still surrounds the earth, but we've just moved our attention back towards the centre point of where we are. And so you can now bring yourself back from the centre to where you were in your seat, in your chair. And so we bring ourselves back. We bring ourselves back to our chair.
For the recording, John Marshall.
So we bring ourselves back into our chairs. We bring ourselves back into our chairs. So now there's me in the centre. There's the ring around us. We bring around ourselves. We are now separate items with a link between me and you, being this little bead of light from our heart chakras. And our heart chakras are linked together. Now retract that link from the heart chakras. Retract that link from the heart chakras back into your own heart chakra and be a separate individual with me in the centre. And now I move away from the centre and come back into the circle. And now we have the centre. We have now had nothing in the centre. I've moved back from the centre. And so now move back towards the seat that is by the side of me. So you've either got my left hand with your right hand or your right hand with my left hand. And now we are now separate individuals, either side of me. And now so move away. And so move away, move out of the room. So you can stand up, let go of my hand, move out of the room, and then back into your own individuality. So now we've sent energy out to the world and healed all people who need healing. We've worked in meta-concert, and then we've moved away from each other and separated out and become our individual selves again. And so from this point, we are now separate and on our own again. So walk out of the room, down the corridor, and back into your own home where you are right now, and with yourself back into your own room, you can open your eyes and come back into the room. At this point, because we've had poor Skype contact, I'm going to thank you very much for your attendance and hope that you are able to log in via this recording. Thank you very much for being here.
Did you see the aliens in Crete?